Aloha mai kako. I'm very happy to introduce our next guest, and he leads the Hawaii Tourism Authority, also known as HTA. And so, John, I know a little bit about your family heritage and some of your training and experiences through the years. So how does that unique those combined elements, and you as a Hawaiian, how does that impact your leadership style at HTA, and also as you make decisions about continuing to fund events like the Merrie Monarch Festival?
First of all, I'm happy to be here with friends and appreciate the invitation. Let me say this, that while I myself am not a hula practitioner, as a child I grew up around a home in Waikiki frequented by Auntie Maike Ayu, Auntie Lani Kalama, and of course Auntie Emma DeFries. And so many of those lessons and thoughts that they conveyed at that time, as well as those on my maternal side of the family, do one thing important, and that is it establishes a very high standard of responsibility. And I describe it this way. On my organizational chart, I report to a 12-member board. I'm attached to DBED. Above them sits the governor. And then there are two blocks above the governor. One is my ancestors, and the other are the descendants of our family, right? And so I keep that orientation in mind at all times, because ultimately I'm accountable to all. And that helps to keep me aligned.
Yeah, mai kai. And you're continuing to fund important community events like the Merrie Monarch Festival. I know there's been challenges with budget and what have you, and this has been an incredible last year and then some. But how, with that strong family heritage and the names you mentioned, that Auntie Lani Kalama and your Emma DeFries, Maiki Ayu, but what do you think about the need for funding events such as this?
The investment that HTA makes is into the community leadership, and to the advancement of Hawaiian culture. It's aligned with the strategic plan that the board of directors adopted in January of 2020, making natural resources a pillar, Hawaiian culture, community, and branding, all of which need to be integrated. They appear graphically as silos, but as Hawaiians, we know that it's fully integrated. And we strive to do that. So the investment we make in the festivals, in community events, is in our way, a way of ensuring that the character of our community and the depth of our culture is put forth, because we are in the business of educating world markets on what to anticipate when they come here.
Mahalo nui, John, first of all, for being here and just sharing those thoughts. And I know without support from amazing partners like the Hawaii Tourism Authority, I think the festival would continue, but it's bolstered so much more by having such wonderful partners like you. And I know for the Merrie Monarch Festival, this year was a huge pivot. We're so fortunate to have it back this year, but having to kind of do it in different ways because of what we've experienced over the last year and a half. What are you kind of seeing, whether it's for the Tourism Authority and or the industry overall, the impacts of the pandemic, and how you think things might be able to and or should pivot going forward?
The operative word is balance, right? We ended the calendar year 2019 with a record number of visitor arrivals. First time Hawaii ever exceeded 10 million. 6 months later, we were hovering around 0. So in a matter of 6 months, we experienced this extreme. And the way forward is really to take the lessons of what we learned when we were at the peak number of arrivals versus the fact that there was tourism basically stopped, right? Neither one of them on its own is a healthy place to be. And so in our work and the work with our partners and stakeholders, as important as marketing and branding is and has been, the emphasis now shifts to managing tourism, right? And putting the systems in place that will enable us to better manage the flow of people once they get here. And we're at work with that. Technology is going to play a big role.
I got to say before we wrap this up that I want to go back to your org chart where you have your kupuna and their descendants at the very top of your org chart. And that's what really defines your kuana ike, your worldview as a handsome Hawaiian leader and the head of the Hawaii Tourism Authority. But really, that's your experiences and your combined qualities are so unique and very much appreciated.
It's a privilege to serve, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. We're so fortunate to have such wonderful partners that support the Merrie Monarch Festival, as well as all of you that are joining us for the broadcast. We'll be right back.